Last week, I called out and criticized our governor and the Democrat legislative majority for their absolute, slothful, and indolent inaction regarding all of their campaign promises and about sunshine in last year's elections. However, I believe there is an obligation of the loyal opposition to not only rightfully criticize, but also extend the hand of assistance to offer a solution, to ride to the rescue when you see the opposition laid out on the canvas and unable to rise, completely prostrate, and helplessly caught up in their own inertia, unable to move off of dead center. So in the spirit of cooperation and relief, I have produced two bills this week that will assist the Democrats and the governor to achieve their promised obligation to improve Michigan's worst in the nation record for transparency and sunshine. The two bills I had drafted are to increase transparency within our public utilities. The first bill mandates that the Public Service Commission board members shall be elected by statewide vote in staggered elections. This bill will alter the landscape to prevent the past policy of often appointing a series of political hacks doing the bidding of the utilities, and thus beginning to now look out for the ratepayers of the state of Michigan, particularly our residential ratepayers. If these elected board members had to return back to the populace and defend their action to be voted in again, I can assure you they would be more responsive to the people. The second bill requires complete transparency from the utilities as to any money they use to influence the legislature and the governor. The utilities claim that this money is from employees and stockholders and others, and that it should not require any transparency. As our utilities are a 90% government-mandated monopoly, they fall into a special category whereby I believe they should not even be allowed to lobby lawmakers and the governor, but certainly at the very least should be required should require complete and absolute transparency as to who is donating and where those dollars are going. Now, I fully understand the challenges involved. The utilities have about a $58 million slush fund that consumers used against me and several others in the 2018 elections. I understand that nobody wants to tangle with the power of a $58 million slush fund. I understand the Democrats' desire to deflect and misdirect and to talk transparency and sunshine to death and not to act. So that is why I have extended the hand of friendship to help them break up their bound up, clogged up, backed up, in a word, constipated transparency agenda. So the prognosis is very clear, and thus this week I have graciously offered to extend to the Democrats the needed political enema to break up their bound-up legislative logjam of their transparency agenda, to uncork Michigan's last-in-the-nation transparency cesspool, and to offer the Democrats the desperately needed dose of X-Lax to induce their transparency agenda. These two legislative suppositories I have introduced today will not only alleviate the Democrat majority's discomfort, but will restore their normal functioning and provide them great relief. But much more importantly, it will create even more relief to the suffering people here in the state of Michigan. Mr. President, I would like my comments printed in the Journal.